This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 train. The next stop is Wall Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you all had a great weekend. This is Not Your Advisor with NYU Grad. On Monday, October 14th, I have a lot to cover. It's going to be a little bit spicy. It's not just going to be regurgitating numbers. I want to cover a few narrative stories in the press that are all price related and some are more ethereal. I'm going to headline this only because if I don't, I might forget. I read and listened to multiple podcasts over the weekend because as a content creator and trader, I just don't have time to consume content, which is unfortunate. But I do subscribe to Doomberg as well as a few other finance outlets, and they're talking about the BRIC unit or the BRICS unit. And there's rumor that after the summit that's coming up between the BRIC nations, that they might release a monetary currency that is backed by gold and or silver, potentially up to 40% backed by gold. Now, this is all rumor, this is all conjecture. I don't know if it's true, but Mr. T would be happy. So I will post in the show notes the interview of Doomberg that I listened to over the weekend. And that BRIC summit is coming up shortly in the month of October between the 22nd and 24th of this month. So keep a close eye on that, and just keep a close eye on silver and gold shares. Now, I don't know if the recent rally in the past few weeks of gold and central banks accumulating gold was causation or correlation to this anticipation of this summit. If you don't know, today is Columbus Day / Indigenous Peoples Day. So whether you are pro-Columbus on discovering a new world and pillaging a land, or if you are for Team Indigenous People and the Native Americans, they renamed it so you can both honor this day. And I'm saying this half jokingly, but a book that I'm not joking about is excellent reading. I'll post the cover of the book as well as a link to the Amazon page, but it's called Empire of the Summer Moon. And this book reads like fiction, but it's nonfiction. It's an account of the last vestiges of the Native American tribes and Kawana Parker, who was the last great chief of the Comanches. And without going into too much spoilers, it covers kind of like that. If you like Yellowstone, the show, and if you like stories from that era of American history, I highly recommend the book. What happened to them, without giving it away, it wasn't so much the arrows and gunpowder and the Smith & Wesson revolver, which was invented in New Jersey, by the way, that won the West. It was the extinction of the American buffalo. And I kind of relate what happened to the financial markets to that, meaning that there's no price discovery right now. Everything is just a few stocks, and breath is just waning. But I digress. Let's keep peeling this onion today. This morning, my mentor, Bill Cara, posted a note about Warren Buffett and something that he had posted. I'll post it in the show notes. I'm not going to read it to you. You can read it for yourself. But basically, it's saying that we're at the point of market exhaustion where majority of investors and traders are not psychologically ready for potentially losing 50% of their position. And it might be time to, if you are not ready to lose 50% of your position, to think about hedging and risk management, because Warren Buffett's cash position has never been higher as a percentage of his portfolio, and he's not a dummy. There might be less value in these trades for the upside. Every tick higher, every percent higher we go, it's taking away from potential future gains because it's going to get harder and harder to extract value out of this market. One off-topic thing that was really positive news, and if you don't care about it, too bad. You can skip the next 1 minute. The Europa Clipper launched today. If you haven't been following me, or if you're not on Substack Notes, I posted links to the live launch. But the short version is we are launching a unmanned spacecraft, the largest of its kind ever built. It's once the solar panels are extended to the length of a basketball field. It's making a 5.5-year trip to the moon of Jupiter called Europa, which potentially has the ingredients of life. And I'm not saying you and me walking around with internet. I'm talking about what is needed for like bacteria, small cells, plankton, because it's an ocean. And the crazy thing is that the orbit that it goes around Jupiter is not a perfect circle. It's almost like a oval. So when it starts to go around Jupiter, it turns from a perfect circle to an oval-shaped moon. And that pressure potentially could be releasing energy in the crust at the bottom of this potential ocean with like volcanic activity. So this will be very exciting. And the reason why it excites me outside of the science and the math is that when we go into space, whether it's the U.S. launching something like via NASA or a joint operation, we're going as Team Earth. We're not going as U.S. or Russia or, Japan or China. We're going as Team Earth, as a unified front. And I feel like this unites us versus all of the differences that we either argue about or kill each other about. So I enjoy this quite a bit in these space endeavors. So let's keep peeling this onion. So it was a very bullish day. When you take a look at breadth, we had 1,380 new highs versus only 139 new lows. On the NASDAQ, we had 240 highs versus only 47 lows. 59% of stocks were advancing versus 37% declining. 32% of stocks were below their respective 50-day. 32% of stocks were below their respective 200-day. What really stuck out to me was the lack of volume. The SPY was trading at like 28 million shares for the day at 3:45 p.m. Eastern. It may have gotten to 40 million in the last 5 minutes. I don't know, but we continue this low volume melt up in the markets, and it's just a few stocks. But I will go through what was strong and what was weak across S&P and the NASDAQ. Keep in mind, you have a lot of big percentage gainers, but when you look at the indices and you see all-time highs on the SPX or the all-time highs on the Qs, it's not Vistra Energy or, Humana adding to that. It's all Apple, Nvidia, and Microsoft. But let's go through these. So in the S&P 500, you had Vistra Energy up 6.15%. Amentum Holdings up 5.5, Qualcomm 4.7, Applied Materials 4.3, Humana 3.7, Delta 3.5, On Semiconductor 3.4, Lam Research 3.4, KLA C Corp 3.2, Pacific Gas and Electric 3.2, Bank of New York Mellon 3.2, Lululemon 3.03, Out from the Dead, Western Digital 3, Universal Healthcare 2.8, United Airlines 2.8, JB Hunt 2.7, SBA Communications 2.7, Adobe Systems, my alma mater 2.7, Paychex 2.4, and PulteGroup 2.4. In the NASDAQ, you had ARM Holdings up 6.7%, Marvell 4.9%, Applied Materials 4.3%, ASML Holdings 3.8%, Atlassian, which is Team 3.7%. I'm trying to dedupe this because there's a lot of duplicates. Constellation Energy 2.08%, but these are all there for the show notes. What was weak in the S&P? Dollar General 3.3%, CrowdStrike 3.1%, Dollar Tree 3.1%, Arch Capital 2.9%, Freeport McMoRan 2.3%, Walgreens 2.28%, Diamondback Energy 2.1%, and Caterpillar 1.98%. In the NASDAQ, PDD Holdings 6.09%, CrowdStrike 3.1%, Diamondback Energy down 2.16%. For the free members, I continue to urge you continue to watch the forest and not the trees. If you missed it, I posted a few free bullish setups in the Substack. You can just go to nyugrad.substack.com. You'll see 22 bullish setups. 4 are free and the rest are paid. I'm going to cover all of them with the premium subscribers right now. I will see you all after the Tuesday session. Premium members, please stay on for a few more moments. That's my train.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.